Well, that was kind of surreal. I don't know how my mouse was still connected to here, but there you have it. Anyway, how you doing, everybody? Tonight we are doing a very chill kind of stream, but hey, we got progress because I have fixed my stream deck, so I'm pretty happy about that. Now let me see if this still works. No, that still doesn't work. Oh, you're testing out GhostTube. You're gonna have to let me know what you think. So right now, chat, I am just chilling. I'm just doing a quick chill stream, everybody. This is what the next hour or so is gonna be because I am joining Steve along with everyone that was involved with Project Opportunity. Don't know if you knew this or not. Steve's got a show. He's got a show on YouTube. It's called Going In Blind, and it is sponsored by Epic Games. I'm really proud of Steve because what he's doing in this is that he is basically playing up the blind card, as it were, but he is getting different people to come on and do different games with him, and it's sort of like a variation of Blind Leads the Blind, and I'm excited for him. Well, anyway, the whole point of Epic Games and Going In Blind and all this is to promote the Epic Games Store. Well, they offer Destiny over at the Epic Games Store. So for a Destiny episode, which he wanted to make sure that I was a part of, he reached out to not just me, but he reached out to everybody involved in Project Opportunity. And with the exception of one person who apparently wasn't able to make things happen, we're having a reunion of the crew. And I could not be more excited. I could not be more nervous. Hey, Panic, good to see you. Oh, and Spence, if you have any questions about GhostTube, please ask. You can also watch the OSI 5-Minute Paranormal on the app if you want to get a full-on review and looky-loo at all the different features you have with it. Something else too that's kind of cool, Spence. Don't know if you noticed this or are going to be able to have access to it. Just said, what's up? Wait, did it actually say what's up? Did it actually say that in the word bank? I'll be so impressed if it did. I'll be so impressed. Wow, let's go. Let's go. That's awesome. That is awesome. So tonight I'm going to be running with Steve, myself. There's going to be Lily Bean cosplay. I believe we will be also joined by Amaze, Gamer Girl Gray, and then we have a standby. Now that standby is either going to be Liana, and I'll have Liana's name up here. I just got to look it up. But Liana is with Bungie. And she is delightful. She is awesome. And yeah, I'm pretty stoked. I'm pretty stoked. I wonder about that. Anyway, sorry. I'm just catching a glimpse. Just catching a glimpse of something said, and I just wanted to check. Man, what people post under Destiny's tag is ridiculous. Okay, so going back to it. So there's and Brandon may be joining us. If Liana from Bungie cannot attend, then Brandon's coming in. Oh crap. I don't have one. Panic. Oh man, I was gonna do that for you too. Okay, I tell you what. Do what you've done in the past. Go on ahead and write up some commands. You know that Resonant Moon, myself, Twitch Mom NZ, and Phil Rossi Media. Those are the 4 names if you wanna use those in any way, shape, or form. And I'm actually talking to Phil tonight. I'm gonna see if I can't get Phil to do a 5-minute paranormal about the Estes method. So, since I'm talking about it, let me go on ahead and pull up. I wanted to pull up OSI, and I wanted to look at this particular episode for Spence, just to see if they will get something out of it. Ooh. Oh, just got another comment I need to respond to. Okay, that's always nice. Always nice to get that. That's how to stream. GhostTube. So that was the other thing I was going to tell you, Spence. If you explore the app, you will actually see there is something in there called Explore. And Explore, I don't know if Explore comes with a subscription package or not, or if it comes with a free version, but GhostTube Explore is their it's their social network, so you can connect with other paranormal people on GhostTube Explore. It's got a lot of potential. It's brand spanking new. But Spence, if you want to take a look at that episode, this is a review of GhostTube. There you are. That's something else too. If you wanted to pull in anything for announcements during the time that you're modding Panic, I would also from the OSI catalog, I would go on ahead and I would pull in the GhostTube review, because we're going to be doing GhostTube. Mello, hey, yeah, I know, I'm sure, but hey, Mello, it's good to see you in chat. Glad to have you here. We're just going over some stuff for the paranormal investigation we're hosting here tomorrow. We are hosting a paranormal investigation starting at 10, and pretty excited about it. I just came here to chill out before the big raid that I'm doing with Steve Saylor and others. You're gonna bring your fidget yarn. All right. You also have that you can pull from as well, Panic, when putting together prefab stuff. Now I'm going to let you decide, Panic, which ones you want to go with as far as the stuff from OSI that you would want to promote during our 2-hour investigation. But here's what I'm going to recommend. What I'm going to recommend is you do the review that we did for GhostTube, the review we did for the Flux, and the review we did for the Ren Pod. Okay? So those three, if you want to do those, that would be great. As far as episodes, I would recommend that if you share any of the episodes, like the full-on investigations, I would suggest sharing Tuckahoe. Not necessarily the first episode, but Tuckahoe, because we've gotten a lot of great traction off of Tuckahoe. And that was our last investigation, which talks about our summer schedule and stuff we have coming up. So I think that would be good. And as far as our socials, we really only have 2. We have Instagram and we have TikTok. Now, if there's anything else that you want, anything else you want me to send along, feel free. Feel free to ask. Automatically, the OSI announcement is going to drop, as well as the HBO Max. But tonight is the last night, so you don't have to worry about HBO Max. Don't have to worry about that. Yeah, I have been doing an HBO Max sub, as you see here, and it was really fun. It was really, really fun. I had a great time. I learned a lot, and it was a fun little venture. But yeah, use that code, sign up for a month or sign up for a year, and it will help me in my goal of 36 subs. But you know what? The fact that I got 1 sub, I'm pretty happy with. I'm pretty darn happy with. Now, about tonight. So, I'm doing this raid with Steve, and I know I've been I said on my schedule that I was going to be streaming this raid. Turns out I won't be able to. Let me backtrack a bit. So yesterday, I did a stream with Steve, and we were doing the filming for Going In Blind. And what I discovered is that I'm using something called OBS Virtual Camera. I have never had a need for the virtual camera until I did this project with Steve. And when I started doing it, I was like, oh, okay. And as I'm doing it, I thought to myself, I'm not going to be able to stream this. Because the way virtual camera works is that I pick a scene from here that has no intermission, no HBO Max, no socials, nothing. It's like having a camera on me. And then I record myself. Ooh, that reminds me of something too. I then record myself, and then I get that footage to Steve, and then Steve edits it in accordingly, which is pretty darn cool. It's pretty darn cool. But it's the camera is a great way to make sure that Steve gets quality footage instead of spotty footage from a stream or something like that. So I'm like, oh, okay, well that's, that makes a lot of sense. I totally get it. And from what it looks like, let's see, I go to videos, and there should be one that's just time-stamped. Or it should be. Oh, wait, there it is. There it is. There she blows, right there. I'm going to call this Going in Blind Among Us. And I'm not kidding, chat. Yesterday was absolute blast. I had so much fun streaming. Well, I'm sorry, not streaming. But filming this episode, doing this with Steve. We had a terrific group of people. The people that we ran with yesterday, ridiculously talented, ridiculously gifted, ridiculously wonderful people. Let me read off some of the names here. There was Grant Stoner, who is he is also an accessibility advocate alongside Steve. He is also a journalist. There was, of course, the aforementioned Steve Saylor. Jambo was with us. Jambo is an absolute delight. There was also Tara Volker. She is with Xbox Accessibility, and a delight. The person though that really blew my mind, and I just had it was an absolute joy getting to know, gaming with, and meeting her. Her name is Victoria Tran, I believe. I'm just gonna make sure that before I commit to that. Yep, Victoria Tran, community director of Among Us and Inner Sloth Games. So yeah, yesterday I played Among Us with the community director of Among Us, and she was a joy. She was a joy. Everybody was so much fun. We had a great time. I think I made Jambo like pee in her pants a little bit when it got down to Jambo casting shade on me, and I played the ultimate card. I said, "Do you want to trust a real friend or a Twitch friend?" And Jambo kind of imploded a bit. It's going to be a fun edit for Steve. It's going to be and I have a feeling Steve's going to make two versions. He's going to make one that is strictly one for Epic Games. Then there's another one that's going to be just for us. It's going to be just for us. Phil just sent me a link from his TikTok, so I'm trying to figure out what he's doing there. He might be kicking it into overdrive, chat, and doing some stuff with his TikTok. But going back, I know I'm jumping around here, and it's probably because I'm a little nervous. I don't mind saying it. I am. I'm a little nervous, everybody. I'm running with some really incredible people tonight. I feel like the pressure's on. I do. I feel like the pressure's on. And I could not ask to be running with better people. And this is going to be fun. This is going to be a lot of fun. But unfortunately, because of the way the virtual camera works, I will not be able to stream it tonight. So I've just decided to come here, hang out, do a quick little cham. I see you shine. Oh wow, Spence. Well, you said you have something going on at your house. It's kind of eerie because PG used to say that to me. Yeah, he would say something like that, wouldn't he? He would say something like that, wouldn't he? Now remember, and I don't think I have to tell you this, but just remember, just because something is communicating through the box and is saying things that are very personal to you and very close to you is not 100% certain that that is the person you think you might be talking to. Unfortunately, much like when you're talking to people in the real world, there are people in the netherworld that probably will, try to weave their way in. I don't mind telling this story. If you want to know my first brush with the paranormal, before I started doing this thing with Phil, one of the things that I remember from college, and of course, it's college, but unlike it being a group of people drunk and just passing time, this particular instance, I was with my then girlfriend, and they had the board. They had one of the Ouija boards, right? They had a Ouija board. It was their thing, and they being her family had the Ouija board, but they never really played with it. And she said, "I've always wanted to play with it. Let's give it a shot." I said, "Sure thing." And this is before I knew anything about what a Ouija board was, right? So we start fiddling around with this Ouija board. And I asked the question, of course, "You're not pushing this, are you?" And she's like, No, I'm not pushing it. And I remember we were doing the thing, and I don't remember how many people we did or didn't, that we did talk to, right? So I'm there, and I'm like, okay, well, who's with us now? And I actually got the name Earl. That's my middle name, Earl. It is also, I don't mind saying, it is also the name of my grandfather, my papa. And I was a little taken aback by that. And I said, "I need to know that this really is you. If you really are my papa, you got to tell me something that only I would know." And is that a surefire way of testing this sort of thing? No, not really. That there's really nothing that says, "Oh yeah, that is how you can check someone's identity, is by saying, 'Tell me something that only I would know.'" There's got to be ways of cross-checking and trying to figure it out, of course, apart from actually seeing the spirit. But that's a different story altogether. I'm just focusing on what happened with me and this Ouija board. And hey, Mika, how you doing? So, we're there, and the planchette starts moving, and it goes to P, then O, then L, then E. Pole. P-O-L-E. And I gotta tell you, chat, it was one of the most fascinating, but also one of the scariest things that ever hit me. And my girlfriend looked at me and said, "What is it?" And I said, when I was small, when I was a kid, and I was driving my papa's tractor, which was a big deal for, somebody that was the age that I was at. And I must have been in single digits. I couldn't have been I wasn't 10. I couldn't have been more than 10, to be sure. I wasn't more than 10. And I was goofing around with my brother. I was not paying attention, and I wound up driving the tractor up a light pole that was in my papa's front yard. Packing in my inner character LARP case full of my character's possessions, figuring out how to Tetris it. Always fun, those challenges, aren't they? So, it spelled out pull, and I told this story to my girlfriend, and then suddenly the planchette, and it very quickly moved over to say yes. And I found that absolutely fascinating. Now, was that my grandfather? I don't know. But I will say that experience stuck with me. I also can't lie. It's a little weird and a little odd to me, right? That Parker Brothers would create this game called Ouija, right? Was it compelling? I see what you did there. Yeah, okay. All right, I got my address, so I don't have to worry about that. But, I mean, yes, it was compelling. It was very compelling, if you must know. But was it my grandfather? I don't know. And maybe if I explored it more, you'd find out. I'm sure there is a documentary on HBO Max that goes into the history of talking boards and paranormal studies. Heck, if you want to, you can actually watch one of the Conjuring films on HBO Max. And remember, if you use that code that just popped up in my stream, you can also help me reach my goal that is listed up there for 36 subs. You know, possible.
Hail to the king, baby.
Not gonna hold my breath on it though, but worth the inquiry. Wow, everybody's logging on now. Scary, but also empowering. Your words alone. What? Oh, I need to figure this out. What is this here? Let me. Have I ever told you my first brush with the paranormal? No, you haven't, Panic. But let me read. My house growing up, I was trying to go to sleep, rolled over to see what looked like a man made of black smoke sitting in my chair. I just said, go away, and it faded into nothing. I hated that house. Always felt so much anxiety there and insomnia. Wow. Wow. No, you've never told me that, Panic. So here would be, this is what I would say to you in response to that. One, I know that you probably didn't talk about that because of your upbringing. You told me about your upbringing and how it was very Bible Belt and very much the extreme side of things when it comes to Christianity, unfortunately. But one of the things I would say that if there's any way you could do it, I would look into the history of your house. You could look into the history of that old house, find out who lived there, find out what happened on the property, because that type of stuff is public knowledge, and unless there's a catastrophic accident of archives, it should still be accessible to anyone that wants to know something about a specific piece of property. And you're a grown adult, so you should be able to do it without a problem. Sorry to chat and run, no problem. You going ahead and take care. And your instincts were right, Panic. I mean, that's one of the things. This is going to be the tricky bit about tomorrow night. We have to sort of get across to people that it's okay to be nervous. It's okay to be a little scared. It's okay to be a little freaked out. Because, in all honesty, I get freaked out every time we get a hit on GhostTube. Every time I see a hit on a REM pod. Anytime I get a response from the Flux 2. When I see that stuff happen, I'm processing it in my head. And it was something that we talked about. No ammo belt in the case, but everything else fits. There we go. Well, okay. Well, you got it to fit. Good on you, Mika. Good on you. Well done. Cheers, sir. So anyway, I would say if you ever get a chance, Panic, look into that property. See what you can find out about that property and what went down there. Because that's pretty interesting. And one of the things I think you learned very quickly, Panic, is that while it's okay to be scared, there is something to be said about taking a stand, if you will, taking a stand, saying that you're not going to be afraid and that you keep control. Hey, Tovi, welcome on in. Glad to have you here. I've never told anyone about that. My parents would have had a field. I'm sure they would have. Had a field day with it. From what you've told me about your parents, they would have not handled that very well. In all fairness, I am pleasantly surprised at how my mom is sort of taking in all this with my new hobby. In fact, Mama Morris is going to be at Linville Manor for that event that we're going to attempt to stream at Linville Manor. That should be fun. That should be a lot of fun. So I have that to look forward to as well. Now, as far as your personal experience, I would say, yeah, whenever you can, find out what went down on that house before you moved in, because you should be able to. You should be able to without any problems, and that's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing, Air Panic. Very cool. Very cool. So, yeah, like I said, I didn't have the first real paranormal experience that I ever had was when I was goofing around with that Ouija board with my then girlfriend in college. And what I would say is that it was compelling what happened to me. But do I think that was my grandfather beyond the shadow of a doubt? I don't know. And I never will know, because I really, when I started to look at the history of the Ouija board and everything connected with it and all the bad juju, I was like, maybe some doors are best left closed. And that's one of the things that, from what I've read and what I've researched, that has been the one consistent thing that I've seen with all of these paranormal experiences involving Ouija boards, is that if you don't end the session, if you don't like, and I think that's when you physically push the planchette over to goodbye. You have to basically say, we are done. And it's the same thing that you see us do when we're on site. When we say, if we're going to a new place, we just go, well, thank you very much for talking to us. We appreciate your time, but you have to stay here. You have to stay here. And it's that kind of empowerment. It's that kind of empowerment that you need when you start doing this sort of thing. I take my experience with a grain of salt, because I read that as sleep paralysis can make you think you see figures, but I had never had that happen again. So, but have you had sleep paralysis before? Because I know I've had sleep paralysis before, but that isn't paranormal. That's science. And what happens with sleep paralysis is you literally cannot wake up. You cannot wake up, and you freeze. It's like you feel like there's a weight on your chest, and you're awake, but you can't wake up. You are aware, but you can't wake up. That is sleep paralysis, and it's happened to me once. And I remember around that time I was stressed out in high school. I was stressed out. I was not in a good spot. I was not in a good place mentally. And I had to take a moment when I was in that state and go, okay, be cool. You just breathe, and get through it. And I fell back to sleep. I just knew that I was exhausted. I knew that mentally and physically I was exhausted. Now, can you see shadow figures when you are in a situation of sleep paralysis? That is a very good question, and I do not know. I do not know. To my as far as I know, it's that sensation of it's a weird sensation. But happened to me when I was pregnant with my daughter 11 years ago. Scariest thing I've ever encountered. Sleep paralysis or seeing figures when you were in sleep paralysis. Which one, Leah? I'm now even more curious about it. Because I remember when I was experiencing sleep paralysis, I felt like someone was pressing against my chest. But I just chalked that up into the sort of panic that I was feeling when I was both saw a shadow figure in the corner of my bedroom ceiling. Ooh. All right, now both of you have me curious. Let me look it up. Do people claim to see shadow figures when experiencing sleep paralysis? Men fear most what they cannot see, and that was from National Institute of Health. Let's just see. Sleep paralysis is a curious condition where the paralyzed person may hallucinate terrifying ghosts. These hypnagogic and hypnopompic wow, these are some big ass words. Visions are common worldwide. They often entail seeing and sensing shadow beings, although hallucinating full-fledged figures, cat-like creatures, and witches are not uncommon. In this paper, I propose a neuroscientific account building on previous work for why people see ghosts during sleep paralysis and why these tend to manifest as faceless shadows. This is the abstract of a paper. How you doing there, Dance? Good to see you. This novel venture considers the distinct computational styles of the right and left hemisphere and their functional specializations vis-a-vis florid intruder hallucinations and out-of-body experiences during these dreamlike states. Additionally, I provide a brain-based explanation for dissociative phenomena common during sleep paralysis. Specifically, I posted that these ghost hallucinations and OBEs are chiefly mediated by activity in key regions in the right hemisphere, and outline how the functional organization of the visual system, evoking concepts like surface interpolation, and its economizing nature, proclivity to minimize computational load and take shortcuts, can explain faceless humanoid shadows and sense presence hallucinations during sleep paralysis. Wow. Whew. That's wow. Okay. So, short answer, and that was from the National Library of Medicine, everybody. That's the National Library of Medicine. So there you have it. There you have it. And here's the thing. Sleep paralysis is a thing. That in itself is not paranormal. Sleep paralysis is a scientific fact that people are writing abstracts about. So yeah. So you're not the only one. Did I catch the new Ryan Reynolds video today? I saw it in my Instagram feed. I did not watch it all. I'm saving it for another time. I have to kind of... I used to sleepwalk as a kid. My brother used to sleepwalk as well. It's one of the eerie bits of The Conjuring. One of the kids is a sleepwalker, and that was kind of freaky. Oh, look at this! Leah resubbing with her Prime Gaming account. Thank you so much. Twitch Prime, Prime Gaming, Amazon Prime, whatever. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. So yeah, so that could have been Panic. Now here's the other question, Panic. Have you had any other instances of sleep paralysis? Because if you've had other instances of sleep paralysis, then maybe that would explain what you saw sitting across from you. If it wasn't sleep paralysis, it might have been something that never had sleep paralysis. But what about afterwards? Did you have any time afterwards? One time I sleptwalked to my car, sat in the driver's seat, but didn't turn it on. Well, happy little accidents, good on you. And I was able to roll over and talk. Well, there is that. There is that. Also, very compelling indeed. So I should mention, chat, we're in this paranormal frame of mind because one, it turns out I won't be able to stream tonight's first run of King's Fall with Steve Saylor because I have to use something called virtual camera on OBS, and then I can do what needs to be done for Steve's show Going In Blind, sponsored by Epic Games. You should check it out. You should definitely look that up. Steve Saylor, Going In Blind, Epic Games. YouTube.com/snowball. Oh, hang on. And that'll take you to Steve's site. At least you woke up, Dance. At least you woke up. So at least there's that. Woke up. Okay. Also, the other reason we're kind of in this paranormal state of mind is because tomorrow night, chat, starting at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, OSI returns. We are so excited about this. I did not expect to get this as an official investigation. We thought we were just going to do a special event. And apparently we made some friends because we have been asked by the city of Manassas and the historical society therein to officially investigate the candy factory or the art factory of Old Town Manassas.
Yes! More of that, please. More of that, my girl.
So we are very excited about that. We are all very excited about that. Not just me and Phil and Pip, but the folks from the candy factory. They are crazy for this. They cannot wait. So I'm curious, Dance, do you still sleepwalk or do you not sleepwalk anymore? Because they again, science does explain that sleepwalking, again, not paranormal, sleepwalking is more about sleepwalking is more of something going on in your brain that your brain is not wanting to let go of. It's not wanting to separate from. It still thinks you've got something to do. And because of that, that's why you sleepwalk. That's the way I understood sleepwalking. Stopped sleepwalking around 18. Mostly did it around 10 to 16. So it might have been something high school related. Might have been. So I really do hope, chat, that you all will join us tomorrow, 10 p.m. We will be live. We will be streaming from the Candy Factory, from the Art Factory. It's called the Art Factory, chat, because it is a performing arts center now. So that's high school can mess up some folks. Yeah, it can do that. Okay, interesting. Sorry, I just got distracted by something absolutely random on the Twitters. Here we go. Getting on at 15 minutes. Okay, that's good to see. I'm just going to go ahead and give a thumbs up to that. But I came on here just kind of chill before this thing with Steve because I'm probably putting myself through some ridiculous amount of pressure for no reason whatsoever. I'm super excited about tonight, and I'm sorry I can't take you all with me on the stream. Again, the reason why I can't do it is because I'm using something on here called OBS Virtual Cam, and I want to make sure that I'm able to do what I need to do for Steve, and create the best content I can for Steve, and then just move on, and and then when you all see the greatest hits, if you will, you'll see exactly how much fun we will have. I doubt very sincerely I will not. I like I said, it's irrational what I'm putting myself through, because these were all the people that I worked with the exception of with the exception of Amaze, who actually kicked off the whole campaign. These were all the people that I worked with when Steve and I did Project Opportunity back in July. Hard to believe that was over 2 months ago. But there it is. How many horror movies are based on stuff that happened then? Oh, high school. Ha ha. Very good. I see what you did there. Yeah, apparently there was a story, speaking of high schoolers, there's a story about how Kevin Bacon was planning to be doing, he was going to be doing this scene with this young actress who was in Friday the 13th with her, the original Friday the 13th. And the Bacon was trying to calm her down, because she found out after she had been on the set and did all this stuff, she found out she was going to be shot topless. She wasn't ready for it, and she was nervous. And he basically, apparently Bacon went to the director and said, "Don't fire her, don't let her go, let me talk to her." And he went up to her and he said, "Hey, let's go for a walk." So they went for a walk, and oh, shocker, Bacon happened to have a couple of dubs on him. So he pulls out a joint, lights it up, and the two of them are out on the shores of Camp Crystal Lake, in between shots, far away from the crew, just toking away. And when all was said and done, she came back. She's like, "Right, let's shoot the scene." Yeah, it was the 80s, It was the 70s leading into the 80s, so there you have it, Just smile and hold on. Anyway, yeah, tonight's gonna be legendary. Sending you Touch of Malice vibes. Oh my God! So here's another reason, chat, why I want so desperately to get the Touch of Malice. You can't see it, but in the top shelf up here, I got as a gift to myself. I got as a gift this Destiny Warlock action figure that I happened to find, and it was being sold at clearance. I happened to get it. It was from the original Destiny, but it was the only time I'd ever seen an action figure for a Warlock. But the Warlock was decked out in Touch of Malice gear and robes for Kingsfall. Now, I'd never done Kingsfall, so I was like, it's a Warlock, I'll just go with it. And a couple people said, "But you never ran Kingsfall, T. You never ran Kingsfall." I was like, I know. But now I've been running Kingsfall. I'm getting the armor, and I really want to get Touch of Malice, because then I can finally say I have an action figure of my Warlock. It's the little details, chat. It's the little details. However, right now, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start making the segue into the I'm gonna start making the segue into the thing. Ooh, you know what? I think I need to change that, chat. Instead of that, I'm gonna throw on that. Now let's see what happens, though. Let's see how it affects my stats. Don't worry, I'll show you before I'm done. So what I'm doing, chat, is I was basically trying to figure out if I should take in, whoops. That is not the that's not the display I wanted you to show. I wanted you to show this display. That is not the display, chat. Okay, why is it saying that that's my primary monitor? It should be showing. Oh, this could. Yeah, I know this is kind of freaky. Hold on a minute. Oh, derp. Because I'm not playing on the PC, chat. I'm not playing on the PC. That's why you couldn't see it, derp. Derpity derp derp derp. Scotchity scotch scotch scotch. Okay. Now if I remember correctly, I actually got the Bond of the Wormlore, which is not, but I could. You know, I could just go on ahead and just start. Yeah. Hey, thanks a lot. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay. Hey, look at that. Masterwork, a piece of armor. Well, I just did. Well, go me. Now, here's the thing though, chat. I'm just looking at my stats here before I scoot off. And looking at the stats that I've got here, this is what I would have if I ran Phoenix Protocol, which is a masterworked item. Now, my resilience and my discipline look pretty darn good, but if I go to here and then go here, yeah, unfortunately, Phoenix Protocol, which is what I need, I don't have. But the solar grenade burns longer. It's still, you know, this is a really good piece. This is a really good pack of sun bracers I had. So I think I'm going to be good here. But if I remember correctly, so I've got Chasm of Yule, which if I put that, oh wow, if I put that on, my resilience goes up, but my recovery goes, no, my recovery goes down. Yeah. But these are the robes, chat, that my action figure warlock are wearing. So, you know, I've got it's one of those things where, yeah, and I have no ascendant shards. Does that do anything? Not really. unless I throw mods on. Like, let's see. Multiple copies of this mod stack and improve its effects. Gain, increase, and recover weapon. Oh, while you have a brand or in the pool. Alright. Gain increased mobility and resistance while you are torn between dimensions. Gain damage reduction while carrying the King's Fall relic. You equip a weapon that deals arc damage. Huh. Oh, and then I can put on some recovery mods and such, which wouldn't be bad. Let me just see if this does anything. Helps a little bit, chat. Helps a little bit. All right. What I need to do now, chat, is I need to go. But I wanted to just say, hey, thanks for watching. I'm going to go on ahead now and join the fire team because they're probably around somewhere. And we're going to do the thing. All right? So you all take it easy. Love you all. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.